On Mondays, I like to do something that is bring some reality to people to get over their skis, fans, media, talk show hosts, players, coaches that just get a little carried away, that just become prisoners of the moment. I call this overreaction versus reality. And yeah, it's my reality, so feel free to disagree. Here we go. Overreaction. Texas is on their way to an undefeated regular season. Now, this is a slightly gray area here in my reality. So the overreaction is, the automatic overreaction is, well, that's it. They're going undefeated. That's the way it's going to play out. There's two parts of it. The reality is, and I'm sorry to be the buzzkill, but the reality is maybe, probably, or probably, maybe. But the reality is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you want to think it's cool, then go think it's cool. But in the grand scheme of things, going undefeated during the regular season really doesn't matter. So what matters is winning the league and getting a first-round bye. And that is done by winning a conference championship game, which I'm predicting now, and I hope this is the case, that people start to realize that these glorified Dr. Pepper commercials do nothing to help most programs. They only end up, particularly if you're really good or if you go undefeated, they only hurt you. There's no upside to these conference championship games. So, Texas may be the example. It's really not going to matter. I mean, nobody wants to hear this. Nobody really wants to say this right now, but their Saturday game against Georgia means a lot less for Texas than it does for Georgia. It is the way the setup is, I think the college landscape is ridiculously screwed up and upside down, and I think this is going to be a prime example. We can only hope and see if they're going to be more like the NFL, and that is address stupid stuff in the offseason. But the problem is you've got these out-of-whack, influenced conference championship games on the 12-team tournament. They're overweighted, greatly overrated, and weighted, to be honest. So you can run the table in the Big Ten, or you can run the table in the SEC. Use Texas as an example, because I know the conversation by 11 p.m. on Saturday night, if they were to beat Georgia, is, oh, wow, they're going to go undefeated. Yeah, okay. It's not going to matter. So you can run the table in the Big Ten or the SEC. And in one game, you're suddenly not the league champion, and you don't have a bye, and you're now, at best, a 5 or 6 seed in the 12-team tournament. That's it. That's what you would get for it. So, yeah, the reality is maybe, probably, could be. And then the even realistic response is it really doesn't matter. I think it's likely that a program or two, and it might even be Texas, gets burned by this setup. It is ripe to destroy someone's season the way these conference championship games are overweighted. And if it's Texas, as you know, since they have all the money and all the power, they get screwed, or they feel as if they get screwed, people get sued, and things change. Overreaction. I know you don't want to do this either. Jeff is going to be a buzzkill today because you want to get worked up. You want to hate on people, and that's fine. You can rage. I'm going to pour some water on it. Overreaction. Your Dallas Cowboys will now spiral out of control. I know, Jeff, now spiral out of control. They've been spiraling. Settle down. Settle down. I don't want to get in the way of your rage, but I think you need to settle down. Your Dallas Cowboys will spiral out of control. Reality. Here it comes. Maybe, but not yet. There. Maybe, but not yet. Oh, it's coming. I think it might be coming. But the spiral, the death spiral, the dumpster fire is not here yet. It still may not happen. And I know you're going to say, well, you face painter, it may not happen. I'm just telling you to pump the brakes. They were blasted at home by Detroit. Most people know that by now. They were non-competitive. they were outclassed in every single way. But here's the buzzkill. They're really going to be defined by the next 5 games. Okay, that's it. So as I've said for about 2 weeks now, you've got a window. If you're trying to measure when the dumpster fire starts, in other words, if you just want to use these metaphors, when are you going to be pouring the gas into the dumpster, which I'm sure is highly illegal, but whatever. And you're pouring that gas in the dumpster. Like, Jeff, when do we set it on fire? Not yet. Not yet. Oh, you can get a gas can and you can get a lighter. Brandon, do you have matches? Anybody have matches anymore? Does that exist?
I don't know if that exists anymore. Huh. I do have a lighter, though.
Oh, really? Like a Bic lighter?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how would you start a dumpster fire with a Bic lighter?
Find something very flammable.
Okay, flammable. Okay. All right. So Brandon, he's lighting some stuff on fire, and he's kind of dipping it down in the dumpster. I'm telling you right now, Brandon doesn't need to light it just yet. Just saying. I don't know that something good is going to happen to your Cowboys. I'm trying to tell you, don't start the fire yet. Let's see. Are they on their way to being that dumpster fire? Can you get Brandon a gas can? Yeah, you can get one. Go ahead and get him a gas can. Put $2 in there. But not yet. They're 0 for 1. Here's the way to look at it. This is the way you can project the Mike McCarthy dead man walking scenario. This is the way you can project the Bill Belichick and his 23-year-old loving girlfriend in a thong scenario. This is the way you can see the old man's face crack scenario. But you got to plot it over 6 games. Then you'll know. One day I'll sit here at the end of this 6-game stretch for the Cowboys, and then I can say, Brandon, start the fire. Dip it in there. Get that dumpster going. He'll be right over here on research, setting some stuff on fire. And we can say, go ahead. They were torched 47-9 in Arlington yesterday. They were beaten so badly that they pulled Dak Prescott. They now have to win. Here's the way to look at it. Dallas now has to win 3 of the next 5. Laugh out loud if you would like. At the end of this 5 is when the dumpster, you can go find a dumpster. Maybe Brandon knows a good one around town that he can set on fire immediately. We'll put him in charge of finding the dumpster. But they've got San Francisco in San Francisco or Santa Clara. They're in Atlanta. They host the Eagles. That's the one I see them winning. That might be their first. Think about this. It might be Dallas's first home win. Will be hosting the Eagles. The Eagles are a better team than the Cowboys, but shockingly, the Eagles coach is dumber than anyone else walking around right now. He's an absolute moron. So they host the Eagles. They host the Texans. I believe they get their ass kicked that game. So who I think, by the way, I think the Texans are one of the 5 best teams in the league. Then Dallas goes on the road to Washington, and I think they're one of the 5 best teams in the league, and they get absolutely torched. It is at that moment, at the end of the Washington game, that Monday, I don't know if it's a Monday night game or not, but whatever day that I'm back here in the studio, Brandon will not be here. He'll be out looking for that dumpster. He'll have a gas can. He'll have a big lighter. He'll have maybe a water bong. I don't know.
And you'll never hear from me again.
That's it, yeah. We can say, light it up, Brandon. Set the neighborhood on fire. Not yet. You got a few weeks. I don't know what can happen. If Dallas wins 3 of these games, I know it's laughable. They're probably a playoff team. Just saying, give it time before you start the fire. And you're not starting it anyway. Brandon is in charge of this. He has a gas can. He has a lighter. He's the only one fully equipped to set some stuff on fire in neighborhoods around Austin. Reality. And ask yourself this. If you think this is cool or do you think this is stupid? Okay, reality is at least 2 teams in college football. And I'm going to say probably 2 big-time programs, 2 blue bloods, I think are going to end up playing each other 3 times this season. I think it's coming. I think it's silly. I think it's stupid. I think it's a terrible setup. But you might think it's cool, and if you think it's cool, I'm happy to hear your argument. But the coolest setup would be, if you want to find something cool, the coolest scenario would be, and I'm probably over my skis by telling you this now, but it'll be Texas A&M and Texas playing each other 3 times. They could be playing each other back to back. Would that be cool, or would that be really stupid? They could meet at the end of the season at Kyle Field, and they play each other in the conference championship game, and then quite possibly in the college football playoff, 12-team playoff. Army and Navy, who are both ranked now, play each other at the end of the year. They could then have to turn around the week later and play each other again in the American Athletic Conference. That's the AAC. They'd have to play each other for that conference championship. But here's what I think is likely. I think this is going to happen. And it could happen to more. It could happen to 4 teams, but I think it's going to happen to 2 for sure. So Ohio State and Oregon, who had an amazing game on Saturday night, they likely play again for the Big Ten championship. And I'm guessing they then meet again in the college football tournament, 12-team tournament. There's 3 times they would have played each other. You can say another example, pretty good one would be Texas and Georgia. They play each other on Saturday night in Austin. They could play each other in a conference championship, and then they could play each other in the 12-team tournament. Now, is that cool, or is that stupid? I think it's reality. And there might be more, there might be pairs of teams that could meet 3 times. There's more to it than this. But I think at least 2 teams are going to end up playing each other 3 times in a season. Reality. The Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the NFL. There. What it's like if they get somebody hurt, I don't know. But right now, they're the best team in the league. They're the best team right now. They're the best pick right now. They're the team you would not want right now. Now, after that, though, here's the other reality. So the Ravens are the best team in the NFL right now. They just beat Washington. The Chiefs, the Texans, the Commodores/Washington FC make up the top 4. Those are the 4, in my opinion, those are the 4 best teams in the NFL right now. Detroit, I would put at number 5, and I only put Detroit at number 5 now because they lost one of the 2 or 3 best pass rushers in the game when his leg snapped in half against Dallas this past week. So, unfortunately, that's tough for many teams to survive without that player. So I put them at 5. That's your top 4. I think that's reality. Baltimore is a class above. And then you've got really good teams at the Texans, the Chiefs, the Commodore/Washington FC. They go 1 through 5. After that, it's all bunched up. And then you've got another layer of about 3 or 4 in reality. Then you got another layer of 3 or 4 after that, or maybe not even 3 or 4. It may just be a bunch of mediocre teams after that, 2 of which play tonight. And I predict the loser of tonight goes into an absolute full-on tailspin. That's either the Jets or the Bills.